according to that. 8 top-ranked players and 200 members of the GID Silver Knights. There is only 5 minutes left. Peak Sword silently calculated that with this number of troops, we could attack an entire fortress but still felt too pressured. On the 4th floor of the Cork Island dungeon, there is a boss that will appear every 2 weeks. Our side has fallen to him 5 times already, that's why over the past month we've been spending money and fighting like crazy to prepare for this battle. Someone announced that there were only 3 minutes left. Peak Sword believes that even though I am stronger than before, I still cannot be confident. His army shouted loudly, "Intruder, intruder!" Peak Sword was extremely surprised. Huh? Who is that? Everyone looked towards the gate where the stranger was standing, looking at him so strangely. That guy's entire body was covered in only black. Peak Sword looked. He didn't have any equipment other than a cloak, he just walked past the guards downstairs like that. Peak Sword has another guess, could it be that he is an assassin? But Peak Sword changed his mind immediately. No assassin would appear so publicly. The system sounds the grid message. Searching for grid players, no results. Peak Sword was extremely surprised. If I couldn't find him, then his name must not be on the rankings. The soldiers had many questions to ask Peak Sword. But Peak Sword had no face and thought that the guards let an anonymous person enter here. Are you trying to make fun of me? This is the exclusive area of the Silver Knights Guild. Peak Sword said to that stranger, I don't know how you got in here, but we are having an important war right now. If you don't want to die, go back. This guy in black didn't want to answer Peak Sword. Instead, he had other thoughts. Why did his stealth suddenly lose its effect? It turned out to be because of the Helgao area. He grabbed the black cloak outside. He wanted to take it off, so now he doesn't need this anymore. When the black cloak was released, the iron armor inside him appeared extremely perfect. The mighty tail is very exaggerated. This outfit is the first time those warriors have been seen. Countless people making noise. What's with that armor? It's terrible. Is it unique equipment? Is that tail a decoration? However, not everyone likes to admire the majesty of his armor. Now is not the time. Kick him out. Mr. Peak had just finished speaking when Helgao appeared. Lots of cursing around. Damn. Eyes burning with hatred. Majestic flames as if they would never go out. Sharp weapons. His head looked like a collection of giant cobras. This interface is as majestic as the bottom of a rising grave. Is Helgao, the master of hellfire. He appeared, the system announced at this time. Helgao's drumming was causing fear, reduced awareness and weakness. Helgao's heat reduced fire resistance by 50%. Helgao uses a pillar of fire. Unable to bear the heat of that person's fire. They cause everyone who feels it to quickly reincarnate immediately. Peak Sword stood high and far away from him at this moment as he looked at the number of his own troops. With just one move, half of our army was defeated. Peak Sword thought about it. He had increased his fire resistance to 86%, but it still didn't work. I can't believe we failed again. Right now, the man wearing extremely splendid iron armor was walking towards Helgao. He said, let's go. Very aura of the male lead. Peak Sword couldn't believe his eyes. He thought, what a joke, that fire blew away half of my army. Yet he was unharmed. He walked without fear before the master of hellfire. He opened an ocean blue orb. Peak Sword didn't know what he wanted to do. Then, he took out a giant pickaxe. Peak Sword was confused. That image, he was holding a pickaxe. Oh God, don't tell him it is. Are you planning on mining minerals right in front of Helgao? He kept digging dirt and coal at the same time. Oh my, it was so hot. Doing physical work was getting more and more difficult. What kind of mineral only appears at the same time as the boss? The digging guy was extremely enthusiastic but still did not forget to analyze the situation. If this is the case, next time I will have to switch to digging in the dragon cave. Suddenly he felt the heat becoming more and more likely to corrode his body. This isn't what you feel, it's what Peak Sword is feeling. Helgao's direct hit towards him. Even if it's a god, it's not certain. Survive, but the truth is, oh my God, he's still alive. This guy with that colorful armor is still standing tall. He even turned towards Peak Sword and said to him, hey uncle, aren't you planning on doing anything? It's hot here, but what's more? Peak Sword quickly ignored his question. The thing Peak Sword is most concerned about right now is, why are you still standing so calmly? Hearing that, he quickly said, it's not difficult to understand. Is simply. Helgao's fire changing Peak Sword's face continued to attack. He gently said the effects of the equipment, that's right, calling the legendary blacksmith of this world. written down as Shin Young-woo. The sound of footsteps walking quickly and then running on the ground. Young-woo was being chased by a group of people. He ran for his life, thinking bitterly as he ran, saying he was using him, then forcing him to obey like a dog. And now he turns around and wants to kill me. What kind of use is this? But unfortunately, at this time he was slashed from behind by the knight. Young-woo screamed, wondering if I will ever die here. At this time, Count Asher suddenly appeared and said, "Greedy brat, money has blinded you, you have abandoned the contract for money, betraying my trust." He was surprised when the Count suddenly appeared. He grimaced and said, "Although I don't have much hope for you, I still somewhat want you to complete the mission." He tried to suppress the pain and said, "I did as you told me, don't you want to reward me?" "Ha ha, of course there is, the reward for a disloyal person like you is death." His subordinates suddenly appeared right behind Young-woo. Young-woo was startled and looked behind him. He thought to himself, "Is that all? Just thinking that this is the ending I got when I had to risk my life for several months to carry out your damn mission. I don't mind, damn game. This is the most played virtual reality game in the world, its name is Satisfy. With over 2 billion players worldwide, it is a world game. Expand to such a large extent. Can be called the second Earth. There are still countless unexplored areas, and it is located in a remote place that no one has ever been to. The southernmost cave, at the deepest part of this cave, is an area with equipment piled up like a giant mountain, and it will probably sink into oblivion until a player arrive. 1 hour ago, Young-woo Warrior level 73, Grid is extremely excited, smiling from ear to ear, found it. Earl Asher's S-rank quest item, Legendary Blacksmith's Precious Book. He was so happy that he cried. It had been an arduous journey, whoever did it would probably have to quit the game by now. I can't leave an S-rank quest halfway, not to mention how many levels I've dropped, and how many potions and equipment I've lost. Suddenly Count Asher's face appeared in his mind. Once I take the Sun Sword, I will never interact with that Asher again. Now I have the item. As soon as he touched the book, the system suddenly appeared, unknown, a situation that required Palalian eyes. Hearing that, Young-woo panicked. Ha, Palalian's eyes, wait, if I remember correctly. Palalian's eye is a top-level appraisal item, as expensive as Landmark Fa. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. This game company is only good at sucking blood from players. Young-woo sat down, holding his head and lamenting, how could he earn this much money as a salaryman? Do you know how much debt I owed playing this game? He stared at the book in his hand. It was probably fine to owe a little more now. Then he bought Palalian appraisal eyes, while appraising the legendary blacksmith's precious book. His body began to tremble. From the book emitted a blinding light. This is a legendary item, Pagma's precious book. This is a book containing the experiences of Pagma, a blacksmith who surpassed human limitations. By opening the book, you can change to Pagma's successor job. Your legendary reputation will increase, 500 across the entire continent. Young-woo stood still for 5 seconds. You're so excited, it's a legendary item. It's so funny, I can change to the legend class, that means I will be the most imba, the most unique class. I'm struggling mentally, stop daydreaming, you're here to do that mission, I'll regret leaving it like this. But never mind, let's just sell this thing, it's a rare item that's hard to find, there's no way some of it will sell for hundreds of millions. Thinking about the scene where I worked for rent to pay for games and school fees, the only thing I'm proud of is my perseverance. Yet, because his friends saw that he was so addicted to the game, they also stopped playing. Even his family ignored him because they thought he was a useless loser. But now it's over, say goodbye to my life as a construction worker, everyone, I did it. Shin Young-woo is now a rich man. Regardless of whether he had a guilty conscience or not, Young-woo decided to sell the book. For money, he decided to quit the game to sell the book. But the system notification flashed in front of him. You can't exit the game here, making his face blank and not understanding what was going on. Earl Asher's secret request mission has changed to Earl Asher's wrath. You adventurers are all equally greedy. He panicked when he saw Earl Asher's frowning face. At this time, Count Asher was angry. Count Asher was very angry because you intended to run away with the book. He intended to kill you and take back the book. That is a fitting punishment for faithless people like you. Shin Young-woo couldn't help but cleared his throat and shouted, shut up, so who is the one who reduced my reputation points to cheat on the reward? Earl Asher said coldly, his defense was useless, and rushed forward to arrest him. His subordinates appeared right behind him. Young-woo thought, could it be that months of hardship were all in exchange for this? I don't mind. When the knight slashed, Luckily Young Woo dodged in time. He shouted, "I will do everything to end this. I am still more or less level 73, I have the skills. First I will stop your movements, stun, shield." But the knight was no ordinary man. He raised his hand to stop and easily neutralized Young Woo's stunning technique. Quite surprising, but he was not shocked. Suddenly, he remembered Pagma's book in his hand. He thought, if I die here, what will happen to the book? Won't it disappear? I can't complete the quest, I can't quit the game, and I can't even sell it. If you guys force me, then that's it. There's no other way. If we can't eat it, we'll knock it down. Seeing this, the Count quickly stopped him. He was trying to open the book. Stop him quickly. But it's too late, you damn scammer, you should have left me alone. Then he started opening Pagma's book, started changing careers. If you don't do it now, you'll die. It's a legendary class. Maybe if you become it, you'll be able to skip this mission. You have changed to the successor job of Pagma, legendary blacksmith. New notification appeared. German blacksmith craft skill was created, reached maximum level. Inspection skill was created. Disassembly skill was created, reached maximum level. Repair skill was created, reached max level. All blacksmith skills have reached max level. Legendary blacksmith skill branch has opened. Shin Young-woo thought to himself, wow, this is a production class. Does the game also force me to work, or is it because it's a legendary level clash so I feel full of power? Looking at that, Asher's panicked face made me happy. Now we accept all of these people, including that mission. When the system announced that the job was complete, Young-woo smiled triumphantly and said, "You guys are dead to me." At the same time, he also achieved the title of Legendary Mission Bearer. You are currently at level 1. While feeling proud, suddenly a knight's sword quickly stabbed forward, and in the end you died from being slashed. At that time, in the real world. According to the game operations team's report, the job change process took place 5 minutes ago. A man answered the phone and answered, "Got it, I will return to the company." The other end of the line rang, "Yes sir, I will prepare the meeting." When he turned off the phone, he was quite surprised. He had changed jobs, so early. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. Really interesting. The crime of a young man who hasn't been able to do anything is already gone, and has been reduced to 2 levels. The current level is -1. Therefore, the mission fails, and you cannot enter the Patreon castle anymore. Every soldier in Patreon will kill you immediately. While still in the game before logging out, Young-woo tried to say his last few words. He would really kill others if they did what he wanted. What's with that face? He was so aggressive just now. In my life, I give you one sentence. Never. Rude with others. Then he was thrown out of the game. After exiting the game, he sat on the virtual reality machine. His eyes were dark circles, his face was haggard due to playing the game for 3 months non-stop. It was really fun. I should have had hundreds of millions of money to spend, but I didn't know I was being ganked by my mother. Do you know what time it is? Transfer to the operating and development company Satisfy Group SA. Down the hall a blonde girl stood there. She is Choi Nahi, Chief Executive Officer of Satisfy. The girl spoke up, greeting the president. From the car, a man stepped out and asked, "What was the matter of the job change 5 minutes ago? I didn't expect such an interesting thing to happen." "First I want to read the report. Is everything ready, Ms. Choi?" This person is the head of ESA Group and the developer of Satisfy named Lim Chul-ho. Choi Nahi replied, "His it is Grid, he is a level 73 warrior, currently at level -1, his real name is Shin Young-woo. He changed jobs using Earl Asher's quest items, precious books of Pagma. Based on the information room's report, he is just an ordinary game addict. His most remarkable achievement is staying in one city for a year to increase his reputation, and playing in a level 200 area for 3 months no matter how many times he died, even though you told us to report everything related to him, related to the legendary class, but looking at this case, we feel it was just an accident not worth reporting." After finishing speaking, Lim Chul-ho spoke up, "Really, I think this guy's luck and tenacity are admirable. But he got this class purely by luck, so what does that mean, even though I think this is the management's fault?" I said that this luck was very interesting. Hearing what the chairman said, Ms. Choi was a bit bewildered. "Why?" He smiled and said, "As you know, according to the predictions of the supercomputer Morpheus and the development team, it will take up to 2 years for players to discover the southernmost cave in Pagma's precious books. However, that guy broke all predictions, found the cave and activated the quest chain to find the book. Phenomena be explained simply by luck. And there's another cool thing, negative levels. Normally, Asher's quests are only given after level 350, but the lower leveled grid changed jobs just because he didn't want to lose his items. Downgrading to level -1 is a heavy penalty that comes with changing jobs, legendary. Furthermore, the rule clearly states that you will lose 2 levels for failing one. Players below level 10 will not be affected by that rule, but he will be demoted to -1 because of special circumstances. Choi Nahi was shocked after hearing this. Wait, that means. You understand, each level increase comes with 10 stat points. So far, he is the only level 1. It would take 2 level ups to reach level 1, meaning he would have a 20 stat point advantage over people of the same level. What if his luck has become obvious, and if it is obvious, is it related to his skills? That's possible. So this game is unbalanced, we have to fix it. At the player's suggestion, he shook his head. No, there's no need to do that. Like you said, he's a pretty bad player, so there's no need to worry. Besides, Pagma's successor is weaker in combat than other